Hi guys, sorry I'm back now. It's only a quick one, but we just I just sorted them out and left them in the. So if you hear any chattering in the background, it's my father-in-law. But yes, anyway, back. Look, load noise. They can't keep quiet for 2 seconds. None of them. But anyway, back to where we were. We were chatting about the player ratings. So what we're going to do is going to go through each particular player. Hello, Nosamuri Asari. We're back. We are. I do apologise. Sunday afternoons. That's just a thing. It's family time and things like that. Abhishek, how are you, mate? Yes, right. Let's give it a minute. See who's on. We'll talk about sort of play ratings for yesterday's game versus Brighton. As we know, 4-0. Hope you enjoyed the videos. Good afternoon, Elijah. Hope you enjoyed the videos that we put out yesterday, and there's going to be like a compilation video in there as well. Right, okay. Right. Seems that I've got a reply from this guy on Twitter who's been threatening people. So I'll have a look at that when we finish. But yeah, we'll see. Steve Oatway, afternoon, Andy and everyone. How are you, Steve? Give Rodri 9. Oh, we're going to go through him, Abhishek, so you can all give your own opinions on your scores as we go through each player. Sam Jarvis, how are you? Alexander Savage expecting 125th anniversary tea to arrive next week. Can't wait. Well done on that one. Show us, mate. Send us a photo. Leonard, Andy, just watching one of your post-match interviews with the guy next to the ambulance. He said not good news for Laporte. Oh, Martin was on here before. Martin, yeah, he sits very close to where they bring him off in the corner of the Colin Bell stand, and he said it didn't look great. And the key ring. Stephen Tierney, afternoon. You have more subs last time. It was 92993. Yeah, it's going up, mate. We'll be at 10k hopefully soon. If Laporte is out for a long time, what do you think will be the centre-back pairing? Well, I mentioned it earlier, J-Hope. Sorry, we were on the live vlog earlier. Just had to cut it off because we got family members over. So I was just settling them in back there. Come back on again. We're talking about the fact that, well, look, we've got Otamendi, we've got Stones. We saw yesterday Fernandinho can play there. So I don't think it's going to be a major issue. Major issue. First things first, before we all sort of get, overboard on it. Let's just wait and see what the news, the official news is on Laporte, and then we can all sort of have a proper in-depth chat over it. One dislike already. What's up with people? Oh, you know what it's like, mate. It's opposition fan channels and things like that. In my opinion, Laporte didn't have to. Just that to that tweet I'll put out later about somebody threatening someone. Just that Ivor Anthony's just replied on the Twitter saying he's a class 1 prick. Andy, he's probably 11. There you go. Leonard, I think you're probably saying there he didn't have to go in for the tackle. Possibly not, but I think Pep will be very, very disappointed in Zinchenko's passing on occasions and putting us back under pressure when he was under no pressure at all. It was just a very, very poor pass. The player skipping past Rodri, if that would have been Fernandinho, we all know what he would have done. He would have took a foul and a yellow card for the team, which then drove Laporte to go in as a last resort. And so even though maybe you might think he didn't need to, he did need to, blah blah blah. Pep would have looked at it from a distance and said, one, Zinchenko, that is not acceptable, giving away such a cheap ball like that. And two, Rodri, you're going to have to learn quicker, fella, because Fernandinho would have just tugged his shirt, pulled him down, give a foul away, and he would have accepted that. But he didn't. He tried to mess about with him and then lost the ball, which forced Laporte to come out and make a bit of a rash tackle. But it seemed like it was a knee to knee or something like that with a slight twist. So we'll wait and see on that. We'll wait and see on the Laporte injury. Andy, would you like to do a ranking of Premier League logos? As in club logos? Maybe that's something we'll do in the future. Scott Williams, listen. Scott Williams, I'm glad you're on because I was only talking about you yesterday. I do really apologise. I haven't sent that stuff off. It's right here next to my desk, and I do promise you, tomorrow I will put it in the post to your nephew, I think it is, with a letter saying that you won it. I do apologise, mate. I just had such a massive week last week. I totally forgot about it. So it will be in the post tomorrow, that I do promise you. And now I've got the address, I'll go back and look on the email. Phyllis's Big Blue Rabbit. Good afternoon, folks. Saw you at the Etihad yesterday, Andy, but you were well busy. Very, very busy. Scott Williams, no worries, fella. It's been just this last week with the documentary and work and things like it's just been crazy. Absolute crazy. So I promise you it will go in the post tomorrow and you'll have it on Tuesday. Steve Oatway, although Zinchenko has done well at left back, he's not great and not a long-term solution. Time to bench him, in my opinion. I think he's done all right. I do think he's done all right. I really do. I don't want to get on his back, but you know, it's oh God, this main road blue. This guy here. This is a guy who has. I'm gonna leave it up so you can all see it, but. This main road blue sent this guy, whoever he is, he posted something, I don't know, it's about a week ago or something like that. I can't remember what he said, but he said something about the live streams or whatever it was. But he turned around and said, I'm unsubscribing, blah, 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 because, oh, that was what it was. He turned around and he said, I'm unsubscribing because it's very clicky on Man City Fan TV, and you spend more time with other people, and clearly doesn't watch it because he knows that if he would have, he knows that I read out everybody's comments on here. So, but he's unsubscribed, but he's back on again, and he's made about 3 or 4 comments already, and we've just ignored him. And again, he's just posted. Probably already been covered, but YouTube are stopping comments on videos. Does this also affect live streams? No, it doesn't. You've already mentioned something, mate. I'm going to put you in a timeout only because you've already sent a load of stuff that is just garbage. So if you want to come on, but don't make sarky comments and things like that. And now you're going on about, you posted something the other day about, YouTube comments will never are going to go out very shortly, and this basically, that's going to end Man City Fan TV and every other YouTube channel and things like that. So you're going to come on, at least be objective with what you're saying, and just don't make stupid comments and then turn around and say I'm unsubscribed because of certain things. Just don't do it, mate. Come on and tell us what you've got to say. Be honest. If you want to have a go, have a go. You're more than welcome. Absolutely more than welcome to have a go. But don't do it in a snide way. Alexander Savage, Andy, what are your memories of Stuart? Well, what, footballing or manager-wise? Started off okay. But no, he wasn't the best manager. Wonderful player. Don't get me wrong. You'd have him in most teams. He could be the one dislike you've got. Yeah, he could be. But yeah, it doesn't really matter, mate. Don't worry about it. Zinchenko can't do more than that because he is out of natural position. Stuart Pearce sent me into a coma. The football did. I definitely agree with that. It wasn't great. Attention seeker, yeah, maybe. Kiam, happy Sunday, everyone. City were all training. Pace yesterday. Zinchenko, KDB, Sterling, all on par. Yeah, I didn't think. Well, certainly, I'm not sure about KDB. A so-so game, but definitely I think Sterling wasn't at his best yesterday. It was a little bit frustrating, and but yeah, I thought Zinchenko sometimes his passing was a little bit sloppy, and he needs to make sure that he stops that. He reads out everyone's comments. Of course I do. I try and read out every single one. I know some people accuse me and say, "Oh, you've not read this out," and I try and go back and do read it, but I'm unsubbing because you don't talk about biscuits. Hey, we haven't talked about biscuits for a while, have we, section? Neil Hanstock. Although I have no idea, it didn't look like your typical ACL injury. Looked more like an impact injury. So hopefully, it's just badly bruised and he'll be back. You know what, Neil? It's a good point, because when I watched it back last night, and because from the ground, we were too far away in the south stand, so I must admit, I actually missed it at the moment of impact. And we were all just discussing who it was, and I was going, that's Rodri, and then it's Laporte. No, it's not. It's so we were all arguing about who it was. But when I watched it back on Match of the Day, I tend to agree with you slightly that it wasn't so much a planted foot and a full twist, which you then go, that could be an ACL. It did look like it was an impact injury. Now, it doesn't mean to say that it's not an ACL. But yeah, I get your point, Neil, on that one. Stephen Tierney, I don't think Zinchenko is a long-term answer neither. I'm not getting on his back. Just say, yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, I've always said, I think if Mendy's fit, plays well, Mendy's first choice starter for me. Roger should have grabbed him, as simple as that. Yeah, I agree with you that, Leonard. Take no notice, Andy. You're doing a great job. Thanks, John Malone. Alexander, the David James substitution was crazy. Saw it on YouTube a few days ago. Are you talking about Stuart Pearce? Yeah. Great set, Andy. Keep it going. Thank you, Ray. Hi, Andy. It's Ian from Kenya. How are you, buddy? You're new. Stephen Tierney, Pearce last season was it wasn't very good. Afternoon, everyone. EF Productions is on. Kiam, I think sometimes the opposition can bring you down to a level. That's what happened yesterday. To be fair, I thought Brighton did okay. I thought Brighton did okay yesterday, and had a few dangerous sort of counter attacks. And it was if their final ball was of a KDB, let's imagine, which is not many people out there, I think they could have got behind us on a couple of occasions. I just think their final ball was not great. DZ Light, any news on Laporte? We're just saying there's no official news on it. We're still waiting for it. Tim Daniels looking fresh and a new haircut. Thank you, mate. First big blues rabbit is Laporte. Might just have tugged a couple of leg hairs out, fall over in a light breeze, fingers crossed. Peaceful decadence, Andy, your best player, David Silva, was great yesterday. God at first. He's just I don't understand these people on Twitter who, they can only be kids. And no disrespect to kids, don't get me wrong. But anyone who's followed football for a long time knows, and certainly followed City for a long time, knows just how important David Silva is. I mean, he just dictates the pace of the game. I've said it and said it and said. I don't know how many times I've said it, but I've said it for years. He's the one player that actually knows Pep's system inside out and knows it, just has got it. And Pep relies on him so much. And what worries me, and on this is a good point, because obviously David Silva is my favourite all-time Man City player. My worry is who's going to pick up the mantle when he goes, because we know he's going at the end of the season. And that worries me that other players, if it's going to be Phil Foden, they need game time. They need game time to be able to pick up this system. It's like the whole Rodri-Fernandinho debate we saw yesterday. Fernandinho would have just pulled him back and just took a yellow card. Rodri didn't. He's not there yet. I'm sure he will in the future, and I'm sure Pep yesterday would have gone, mate, come on, just grab his shirt, take one for the team, and, you've got to stop it at source there. You can't allow him to go through to the centre-back. And I think it's the same with David Silva. Kevin De Bruyne could play that role. Bernardo Silva potentially could play that role, but you have to know that role absolutely incredibly well, because you are the one that's dictating the whole pace of the game under the Pep system. And I'm not sure there's anybody right now who does that. Kevin De Bruyne probably is the closest. And if we're expecting Phil Foden, a young kid, to come in and do that when he goes, then he needs games. He's got to be playing games this season to be able to get used to, because he's not going to pick it up in an instant. Somebody has got to take that mantle from David Silva, and that person has got to be playing plenty of games this season. Why do people call Pearce a psycho? Did you ever see Stuart Pearce play? He was a tough guy, tough left back. It put you and the ball into the stand. Hi Andy, a fair performance, a good result. It was. Brighton did try and attack, but as a whole, the standard was low. For first 30 minutes, they had the ball 52%. I thought they were decent. I thought the first half they defended very well, and I think James said it on the post-match video yesterday. He turned around and said he thought their right back in particular was exceptional against Raheem Sterling, and I tend to agree. Watching it back, I tend to agree he was. Jay Wang, I want to say hello before I go back to China tomorrow, and thank you for having me on. You're more than welcome, Jay Wang. Followed by Ming Yi Wong. Fair play to Brighton, who had a try, but wasn't good enough. Football or rugby? Did they have a try? Oh, they had a try. Yeah, they did. Thomas Castling, yesterday was our lowest possession, 54. Since playing Liverpool in January, didn't control the ball too well. No, just saying that, Thomas. We gave the ball away too often. Andy, we win 4-0, people still complaining. Well, yeah, I think it's the level we're at, mate. I don't think people are complaining in general. I think they're just picking apart the bones of the performance, and when we're so used now to sort of 5-0, 6-0, 4-0, 3-1s, 3-0s, we'll still look at it now as a whole. And I'm sure Pep Guardiola. I mean, let's face it. If Pep Guardiola can pick holes in a 4-0 performance, then does that not say that we as fans shouldn't do? So I think it's our expectations are so high. Jay Wang, the new legend of Man City Fan TV, him and Oscar Bob, and Bernard, I don't know where he's on, he's probably on Ray's vlog, but Bernard did send me a tweet yesterday, which was quite funny. It was about the fact that Oscar Bob got an assist for somebody, and it was quite funny. David Silva is the best City signing ever, for me. Yeah, for me. Jay Wang, have you been working on your English overnight? It's amazing. It is, considering he couldn't speak English. Unless it's his daughter or his son. Stuart Pearce, top bloke, not a good manager. Jim Bob Jr., yeah, I agree. It's really good. I think his daughter is typing it for himself. I think he should offer David one more year. Hey, listen, I'd love nothing more than that. But I think David's one of those sensible players. He knows... I think he wants to go out at the top of his game, if I'm being honest. I don't think he's one for, emotion and things like that. I think he just realises that he wants to give one more big season for City, go out on a massive high, get a testimonial where he can say thank you to all the fans. And I think really, I don't want him to be a shadow of himself. I want him to go out just where he is, just for me, the best player I've seen in a City shirt. So I'm not disappointed. I want him to go out at the top. Kiam could be one of Jay Wang's kids posting. Kiam Coffee. For me, once Sergio and David leave, we'll be in trouble. They ran the show yesterday. They were superb. Edson made some great saves. He did. For sale, one slightly damaged wheel, contact Elliot. I thought Brian did really well, just struggled to create enough chances. I think they were in some good positions in the final third. Just think their final ball was poor. He was a tough left back, says David White, says in his book. He was tough. And he could be strong, not nasty, but God, he made sure he always took the ball and the player if he could. Aguero, the most underrated striker in history. Can't disagree with that. Hi Andy, hi Bernard. Too bad I wasn't supporting City back in the dark days when Svenga and Pearce, Staxley later on, not to mention 93-20. You won't want it to go through the dark days, trust me mate. We might wear it as a badge now as fans, but the football was garbage, absolute garbage. Atmosphere as a fan, the best ever, but the football was awful. Just enjoy the football that we're actually... you're seeing now. I couldn't make it to the game, so I just saw the 54% stats. Really shocked me. Yeah, it was. I must admit, being at the game, didn't look like a 54-46% game. If I'm being honest, they did a lot of sort of passing around at the back, and without really doing much. But then when they did break, they did get behind us a couple of times. Just poor final ball. Hey Bernard, see you over. Took me in the Fantasy Football League. Right, I'm going to go on to play ratings. So, give me your play ratings. I'm going to give you 10-15 seconds. All you need to do is put me a score out of 10. There you go. First player is Edison. 7, 7.5, 9. Keon gives him, wow. Peaceful Decadence 7. 9 says Ray. Mervyn says 7. Horsey 9. Scott Williams 8. Phyllis's Big Blue Rabbit 7. Did the job. 7.5. Maybe 10. 100 points. 7, 8, 6, 8. Wow. So overall, there we're looking at around about an 8, I think, because we had a lot of 9s, a couple of 10s, mainly 8s and 7s, 7.5. So overall, I gave him an 8. So I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to say it's an 8 for Edison. There you go. Next player, Kyle Walker. What are your thoughts on Kyle Walker? 7.5, 7, 7, 7, 7.5, 7, 8, 7, 7. Walker 6. J-Hope says 7. Jerry Gow says 6. With a Go Faster haircut 10. 7, 7. Well, I've given him a 7. So looks like the general consensus was a 7. So we'll go with a 7 for Kyle Walker. Let's move to the opposite side. What about Alexander Zinchenko? What were your thoughts on him? So Leonard gives him a 6, Ray an 8. Ray an 8, yeah. Section 6, J-Hope 6, Bernard 5.5, Mervyn 6, Chris 5.5, Horsey 4.5, Peaceful Deckerson 6.5, Zinchenko 4, Stephen Tierney 5, Average, Jerigow 6, Scott Williams 7. Oof, you're quite harsh, you lot. 7, 7.5. Blue Heart, he didn't set up Sergio's second because David Silva did. It was only a pass into David Silva. 7.5, 6. Good evening. 10 for Zinchenko. 6 because it's not a natural position otherwise. Far too many mistakes. Okay, wow. So looking at that, I would suggest that the average score out of that is around about, I would say it's around about a 6 to a 6.5. I had him as a 6. So we'll go with 6 to 6.5. I think it wasn't one of his better games yesterday, if I'm being honest with you. Only because I think some of his short passing was poor. But overall, I didn't think he had a bad game, I'll be honest with you. Not one of his better ones, but, you know, just he's got to cut out those. It wasn't like he did it once. He did it several times. Really sloppy passing. So... Anyway, David just knocked it through. It just knocked it through. It was a wonderful pass by David Silva. 5.5, he got skinned twice, he did. Right, okay, so we're going to give him, I don't know what we're giving him, a 6. We'll give him a 6 overall, because some giving him very low scores. City don't lose with him, no. Good point, Leonard. Right, moving on to the next one, and that is Nicholas, the General, Otamendi. 6, 6, 7. Believe me, I could have made that pass. No, I don't believe you. 7, 6.5, 7, 7, 6, 7, 7, 7, 8, 6. Otamendi 2? Kiam. 7, 7, 7. MCFC box 9. 7. It's looking the same score as me. Thought backline were poor in general. I didn't think we were poor. I think it's a bit harsh, Martin. I don't think we were poor. Headless chicken. I like Otamendi. He did bail us out. Yeah, he did. He did bail us out, but, you know, should have brought on centre defence in the summer. Yeah, I'm stupid. Didn't watch the game. General was great again. Okay, so looks like it's a 7. 7 is the majority, and I had him down as a 7. So He gets a 7 for yesterday. I know it's only short-lived, 37 minutes or so, but what were your thoughts on what Aymeric Laporte did whilst he was on the pitch prior to getting injured? 8, 6, 6, 7, 8, 6, 7.5, 8, 8, 8, 7, class all day, 8, 6.5, 7, 6.5, 8, 7. Whew. Laporte 6, he looks hard to play with Otamendi's erratic play. Would have been possibly an 8 without injury. Wow. Okay, so looking at that, you've got to say the majority are going for an 8. With the other scores dropping down, I'm going to guess it's a 7.5. I gave him a 7. Only because you saw 37 minutes of him, so I can't really give him, for me, I can't give him a much bigger score than that. But it looks like a 7.5 there or thereabouts for Otamendi. Okay, moving into our central defensive midfielder for yesterday, which was Rodri. Eight. Leonard 6, Peaceful Decadence 7, Ray says 8, Jerry Gown 9, Mervyn 8, Stephen Tierney 8, Scott Williams 7, Horsey yes, Blue Heart, Phyllis is Big Blue Rabbit 8, still learning, looks good, MCSC Vlogs 9, Rodri 8.5, Rolls Royce, Horsey City 7, Shedders 9, Man of the Match, Brian Gardner 8, 7.5, only played a few, still betting better and better, or still getting better and better. I had Rodri down as an 8. I thought he did well yesterday, just looking at his scores. 8, 8, 8, 8, 9s, couple of 9s, 8, 7.5, 7. We'll go with an 8. We'll go with an 8 for Rodri. Andy, it's me either. Is it you? We were discussing this yesterday. At the match. Me and Horsey. They are Horses on. We were discussing it yesterday, going, I wonder who Phyllis's Big Blue Rabbit is. And then we were discussing, no, it's not him. And Martin thought it was Kiam, and I went, no, it's not Kiam, and it's not Rob. But no, it definitely isn't. And we were discussing it. So it's Ivor. Brilliant, Ivor. Excellent. Where's Jay Wang gone? I don't know. He's probably on his flight to China. Right, moving on to the next one, and that is our Ginger Prince, Kevin De Bruyne. How do you think Kevin De Bruyne? What score would you give him? 7. 8. 8.5. 6. Nowhere near his best. 8. Get that blue heart. 8. 8.5. 7. 8. 7. 6.75. Ray 8. Sloppy 6.5. 7 still tiring too quickly. 8 not there yet. Went quiet after a goal for me. 8. 8.5. Any others? No. So what we got? What did I give him? I gave him a 7. So yeah, it looks like he's an 8. Overall, say he's there or there about 7.5 to an 8 on there. No official news, Gustavo, on Laporte. Nothing yet official. All opinions blew out, absolutely. To be fair, we were spoiled. If we're United fans, they don't get turns. Yeah. Right, on to the absolute legend, David Silva. Steve, yeah, we gave him a 7.5 to an 8, Steve. David Silva, Horsey 10, Ray 9, 12, absolute genius, says Peaceful. Leonard 8, Mervyn 9, Steve 10, J-Hope 9.5, Bernard 8, Benanism 10.5, Stephen Tierney 10, Chris Baker 8.5, Shedders 9, Jerry Gow 9, Scott Williams 9.5, Brian Gardner 8, Horsey man of the match, Blue Heart 2, hopeless, pass to Sergio. The one that you mean you could have done better. Phyllis's Big Blue Rabbit 8, simply class. David Silva tied, but best player 9. Wow, there's a lot of big scoring there. He got a 9 from me. He got man of the match. No, he didn't. Oh yeah, he did. No, I got him. Oh no, I didn't. I gave him a 9.5 just because he was man of the match for me. So what we've got here, we've got a lot of 9s and 10s, got a couple of 8s. So we're going to go on the whole, give him a 9. 9 for David Silva, I think, overall, because there was a few 8s in there as well. So, next player we're going to talk about is, he came in yesterday for Bernardo Silva. And I thought I had a very, very, very good first half. Not so great the second half, but very good first half. And that is Riyad Mahrez. 7. 8.5 solid game, says Peaceful. 7.5 Bernard. Leonard says 7. Ray 7. Chris 7. Jerry Gow 7. J-Hope 8. 7.5 from Section. 7.5 from Mervyn. 7.5 from Martin. Steve Oatway 8. Mahrez 8. Scott Williams 7. Stephen Tierney 8. Phyllis's Big Blue Rabbit 7. Improving. Lost his way. City tired he did. 7.5 forgot he was playing after the first 20 minutes. 8 and 9 if that KDB shot had gone in for that pass in the second half. Shedders 8.5. Ooh, this is a tough one. I'm going to go with a few 8s there and a few 7s, but quite a few 7.5. So I had him at 7. And I'm going to get grief for that. That was only because he had such a wonderful... If he would have continued his form that he played in the first half, I would definitely have given him an 8 to an 8.5. But I just thought he faded. I thought he was very, very good. I personally think up to the half-time. But second half, I just thought he just faded. And this is my problem with him. He's got to be consistent and do it all of the time. All of the time. Or in as many games as possible. But anyway, I gave him a 7, but I think the consensus here is, I don't know, 7. We'll go for a 7 point. We'll give him a 7, 7.5. So over to the other side. Somebody who I didn't think had a good game yesterday, and that was Raz. I didn't think he was at his best yesterday, even though I agree he got marked out very well by their right back, but I thought overall he was a bit poor. 6. The whole team faded. They did, yeah, I agree. 6.5, needs to rest. Somebody else said that yesterday. 5. 4, worst game for Donkeys, usually subdued. Unusually subdued, yeah. 5, 6, 5, 6, 6, 6, 7, says Brian. Phyllis 6, needs a rest. 7.5, 6, 7, says Jerry Gow. Ray, missing in action. Yeah. Oh, you gave him a score, I was going to say. Raheem, worst game for a year. 6. God, I think you guys are being kind. I gave him a 5. I thought he was really poor yesterday, if I'm being honest. But what's the Spurs? 1-0 Spurs at Arsenal. I said Spurs are going to beat Arsenal. I said that. 5, 6, so a couple of 7s. We're going to go then down the middle and say a 6.5. 6.5 for Raheem. Let's not get a spacey mates for... Oh, no, listen. I'm definitely not slagging off Raheem. I think he's been absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Don't get me wrong. I just think on his previous standards compared to yesterday, I just thought he was a bit sloppy on the ball. Well, I thought he was very sloppy on the ball, if I'm being honest. And I agree. I think he looked a little bit tired, and so maybe it's time rotate Mahrez and Bernardo. Maybe give just Sterling a rest, but we've got the international break coming up, so hopefully Southgate don't play him too much, and he can have a rest, because he's had a lot on his plate this summer, and I think he's just been such a stalwart for us at the start of this season. Yesterday he just looked a little bit off the pace. But anyway, moving on to... Got to have a statue of this guy, without a shadow of a doubt, alongside David Silva and Vincent Kompany. And that is the main man. And that is Sergio Aguero. Jay Wang spotted boarding private jet at Manchester Airport. J-Hope 10. Chris Baker 9, man of the match. Mervyn 9. Stephen Tierney 9. Leonard 9. Shedders 9. Mingy Wong 10. Bernard 8.5. Peaceful Decadence 9.5. Jerry Gow 9. Scott Williams 9. Steve Oatway 9. Class. Brian Gardner 8.5. Section 9. Would have been 10 if he'd got a third. 100th Etihad goal, yeah. 10 plus, says Horsey. Phyllis says, cunt, my only 9. Impact wins games. It does. Sergio 8.5 could still pick out better passes at times. Sergio 10 is the best scorer that has ever played for City. It's got to be one of the best goal scorers we've ever seen in the Premier League in particular. If we just take that as a 27-year sort of period. For me, I gave him a 9 because I gave David Silva 9.5 as my man of the match. But I mean, you could argue between the two, and we could argue all day long who was better and who wasn't. But I thought his goals were brilliant. So yeah, he's just an amazing player, absolutely amazing. Right, so the person who came on and actually we can really give a score to. I tend to not give scores for players who they need to come on for at least 20 minutes or more, but otherwise it's very difficult unless they do something amazing. And I will mention one player, obviously because of his impact, but the next player I'm going to mention is Fernandinho. So Sergio, we're going for a 9. Bernard 8.5, Wangi's back. Mervyn 8, 7.5, 8. Bernard Brill, Leonard 8, Stephen Tierney 7, Jerry Gow 9, 8.5 Class, 7.5 Steve, Bernard is a 7, Ray 9, Mingy Wong 8, Scott Williams 8. Peaceful says 9 for the header and placement was super intelligent. Phyllis says Dino Magic Man, also easy 7. Shedders 7, Horsey, we are scoring the players, J Wack 10. Horsey 8, Brian 8, Fernand looked shaky to me, not comfortable at centre back, but grafted 6.5. Wow, Kian. I gave him a 7, but you guys have given him 8s, 8.5, 9s, 8s. I think overall Fernandinho gets an 8. According to you guys, taking the sort of guessing average. He's still a wonderful player. Wonderful player. You reckon it's a car crash for waiting, Kian? Interesting. We'll wait and see on that one. Maybe it's something that you will, in the future, might prove that you're actually correct. He might go on to be absolutely the next Mascherano. But we'll wait and see. We're generous now because we got yeah. We need to buy a centre back in Jan for me. Defo, if it is, you're not going to buy any top class player in January. That's the problem. Dino answered questions in Pep's head. I trust him, says Ivor. It ended 4-0. I say I'm shocked at some of the scores. Are we taking our performances for granted? I think so. Nathan Aki, well, good point. I mean, that's obviously one that I've been shouting about, and we've been shouting about on here for months and months and months. So if we could persuade somebody like that with the right type of money and right type of offer, but as you know, in January, Bournemouth will go, we know you need a centre-back. If Laporte is out long term, they're going to ramp that up. And like I've always said, I'm not interested in the price. And I'm sure Aki would come in at very decent wages anyway. So if we need him, buy him, in my opinion. Eric Banana Man Garcia, time to step up to the plate. Not sure he's going to be playing in the big Premier League games, in my opinion. Dunk, piss off with your dunk, Martin. Ake's left-footed as well. You know, right. Moving on to the final player. I know we had some others. I can't remember how long Gundogan. I'll check it out. But Bernardo Silva obviously came on. Okay, I'll put Gundogan as well because he had just 20 minutes. So, but let's see what you've got for Bernardo Silva. Bernardini 7.5, 8, 7.5, 6. Brian says 7, section 7.5. Brighton have better chances and clear chances. Steve 7.5, Stephen Tierney 7.5, 7, 8 says Ray, 7 says Martin. Jerry Gow says an 8. Blue Heart 7, Chris Baker 7, brilliant cameo from a superstar. Blue Rabbit Gundo 5, Bernardo 7. Regarding the Eric comment above reference to the comment, yes, sorry, 7. Bernardo did more than Mahrez in 15 seconds. Are you watching Algerians? And you like throwing grenades in here, don't you, mate? Only 7 is not long enough. Well, I normally only ever give, my opinion, normally ever give a player who comes on with 20 minutes or less 6 if I have to score them, but I'll always give a point if they do something amazing, which 5 seconds and he scores a goal, so I've got to give him a 7 for that. So I think the average here is, I'm going to go, the average here is 7 because we've got a few 7s, couple of 8s, couple of 7.5s, couple of 6s. I'll tell you what, we'll go 7.5 for Bernardo. There you go. And the last player, actually, we'll do Pep as well, but the player is Gundogan because he had 21 minutes plus extra time, so it's one of those. Needs to be more consistent though, totally. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6.5, 10, 5, 6, 6, 6.5. Mahrez did okay, but we keep getting told he's a world beater, so let's see it. Yeah, 2.1. 7, 7, 6, 6. Well, it's looking like a 6. I had Bernardo Silva. Yeah, I told you before, 6. I had a 6 for Gundogan. Sorry, Bernardo Silva a 7 because he scored a goal. I had 6 for Gundogan. Gundogan a 3. He's really split. He does split Man City fans. He really does. We're going to fall out here, Kiam. Do you have all 100 bits last night? Right, finally, give us your thoughts on Pep's selection, substitutions, whatever else. Sorry, 3 is harsh. He's a 6. Yeah, there you go. So, Pep, what does Pep get? He gets a 10 from Bernard, an 8. Gundo, a series 7. Ray Fernley, this is Pep we're talking about. 8, 8. 6 from Stephen, 6 for playing Mahrez. I thought Mahrez did all right the first half. Mervyn, 8. Chris Baker, 7. 8.5. Couldn't manage all 100 beers, mate. Just a 98. 7. You want Cancelo? He's already said he's not ready yet. 7.5. Played the team. I said so. A 10. Yeah, you did, Bernard. You said Mahrez, didn't you? You did. That's what you said. Spot on with that, mate. He's a god. Lightweight, Kiam. 10.5 says Alex. Yeah, I don't know. I'll give him a solid 8 for yesterday. Because yeah, he did play Mahrez. But then again, I thought first half Mahrez was very, very good. And then made a sub, let's face it, made the sub at the right time. Bernardo came on, scored within 5 seconds. So, you know, Pep unremarkable and would have insult to a brilliant. Pep unmarkable and would be, yeah, I mean, it's rate the South Stand singing section. Is Rob on? I ain't going down that route. I got in far too much trouble in the Colin Bell stand for that. Where's the legend that is Rob? I don't know. These days I get drunk walking past the pub, proper lightweight. Replacing Pep and Kun and Vinny will be our toughest. It will be. Colin Bell was 10. We were rocking yesterday. You know that ain't true. You know that ain't true. Fair play to Brighton. They were much better than Hugh. Well, they said that on the pre-match interview we did with Brighton fans. They were saying, you know, as much as they like Houghton, the new manager coming in, Potter's coming in, they're making them a much better team. South Stand singing section has been garbage since I left. I was in it, so I was rocking. You play Thursday Cocks, you'll finish it. I was in it, so I was rocking. Yeah. So what happens is I move to where Martin sits for the Vinny's testimonial. Where does he move? To the South Stand. Bad news, I'm coming South Stand next year. Good luck. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. God, going to be trouble up there, I can tell you. We're all going to be up there, aren't we, next season? It's going to be horrendous. Anyway, Bernard 115 rocks. Right, listen, thank you for the predictions. Just finally, just a little bit of news. Fernandinho apparently has been Pep's actually been preparing Fernandinho, by all accounts, to fill Aymeric Laporte, or a defensive role anyway. And the rumours are that it looks like, by all accounts, I mean, the last couple of weeks, Fernandinho has said he's been training in that particular position. And we still have two centre-backs, but I can play in that position. He said when John got injured, obviously, he knows that he could be a potential coverage for John Stones. And then, obviously, Laporte came off yesterday. He said, it's not a secret for me. The key is to understand the concept of the way we have to play, the movement and the pace we use in games. It's my first time and I hope I can improve and do better next time. Obviously, we've got the likes of Eric Garcia, Taylor, Howard Bellis as well to ease the strain in maybe the cup competitions. But it looks like Fernandinho said it's not too difficult to play in that position. He said we have a proper style of play that's drilled into all the players to keep the ball as much as possible in the Premier League. So he's coming out and basically saying that Pep has almost prepared him for this particular role. So it sounds like Rodri is going to hold his place for as long as possible. And he may have rotated Ferner with the centre-backs, or even Rodri when he needs a rest in the cup competition. So we might see a bit more on that. So Kevin De Bruyne has obviously, he's come out and said it's always a shame when people get injured, talking about Aymeric Laporte. He said it's not nice for the team or for the person when you're away for a long time. We already have Leroy injured, so if Aymeric is out for a couple of months, it's a big blow for us. So, yeah, he said we lost Vinny, but already it gives us possibilities to other people, and hopefully John will be back as soon, and hopefully we'll be okay. So whether there's a little bit of inside there, thinking we've got an idea of what the injury will be, we'll wait and see. Obviously, the next bit of news is Leroy Sané. Bayern are apparently reported to be saying that, according to the Mirror, they are still interested in agreeing a deal for Leroy Sané before the actual window closes tomorrow. Wow, I find that very, very difficult to believe. Apparently, it was in the Mirror reported this morning, but I find that very difficult. How you can possibly purchase a player unless you put exceptions into the contract, and City are not going to do that. You wouldn't think Bayern will do that. You imagine saying, look, we'll pay you £100 million, but if he's not injured, if he's injured, then we just don't buy him, and that type of thing. City are not. City will want Sané to stay. I can't see that happening whatsoever. If City would say, you sign a contract to say you want him right now, when he's fit, if he's fit in the January transfer window, you can have him. If he's not fit, you still have him for £100 million. Your choice. Play hardball and just don't take any shit from Bayern whatsoever. And just say, if you want him for £100 million, you sign it. You sign the contract. You have him, whatever state he's in January. That is it. It's over to you. I can't see Bayern coming up with anything like that. So, what else? Is there anything else? There was a little nice piece about the elite development squad and Joe Latabaudiere. They eased to a 4-0 victory at Liverpool on Saturday evening. Afterwards, Latabaudiere revealed the squad met earlier in the week to discuss recent performances, which haven't been so great. said that they needed more, they just weren't up to it. He said it proved to be all the motivation needed, and he hailed the team spirit as comfortable victory. He said we played very, very well. We've been building up to this and we trained well this week, and we had a team meeting. The players got together in the changing room just by ourselves. He said it was a group decision. A few of the leaders got together, pulled the team in, and we said what we needed to say. We haven't been playing badly, we just haven't been getting results. It was just about that, about working hard, and it's certainly shown tonight. And the team spirit is high, and I think that's one of the reasons why we played so well. And the manager, Harsley said, he said the same thing. He was equally pleased with the fact that the players got themselves together without his intervention, got themselves in. So Lato Bodier there is almost showing it in that young, he's only 19, he's showing that Vincent Kompany quality by saying, basically, I want to take the team myself without the manager, and we need to sit down, we need to thrash this out and find out why we're not getting the results that we needed. He turned around basically and said he was equally pleased to hear about the team meeting and impressed with what he believes is a sign of maturity from this very, very young group. You've got to remember, we've got players in this group that are not 19, 20. These are, some of them are 16, 17. So the likes of the fact that we've got a leader in Lato Bodier, who, don't forget, has been captain of England, basically taking the mantle and saying, outside of the manager's influence, we all need a meeting between ourselves. We need to work this out, why the results haven't been playing, and let's thrash this out and be open and honest. And I think that's brilliant. I think that's a really, really strong characteristic of a young kid at 19, taking ownership and responsibility as the captain of the EDS squad, and taking him in there. And we don't know what was exactly said in there, but to come out and then thrash Liverpool 4-1 shows, you know, real leadership qualities. So a massive pat on the back to Joel Lato Bodier. I think it's fantastic. So finally, before I go, because this is the second vlog, I'm going off to start dinner for us all tonight. So sell him now, save on bandages and tissues, or what you going on about now. Spot on Sane, Scott Williams. Well, I've said it. Go back 8th of August last year. I made a video on Leroy Sane. Go back and watch it. What I said about him back then. Just being honest, James Beattie, that causes problems. Edison made 3 or 4 great saves. Sell him now and save on bandages and tissues. Joseph Bernard could have been 7-3 yesterday. Good chances missed. It could have been. Yeah. Joseph says they weren't awful. It's what you guys mean, but 4-0 is hammering. Again, all opinions, Joseph. I agree with you 100%. Resigning. Bayern should either put up or show up. Absolutely, they should. Under Graham, they are playing a lot more freely. Last year it would have been parking the bus. This year, different vibe, completely about team. Seems that way. I mean, that's what we're speaking to Brighton fans yesterday. They seem they were saying the same thing. You know, there are going to be times when we go for it and it don't work out. I mean, I read Oliver Holt's article this morning, and his was more along the lines of, it's nice when teams actually have a go, but you only have to show that if you get it wrong slightly against a team like Manchester City. You saw what happened after a couple of minutes when, you know, Kevin De Bruyne scored. If you're going to do it, you've got to do it right. You've really got. It's one thing being brave and going for it, but if you get it wrong against a team like Liverpool or City, their counter-attacks and their technique and just the whole imaginative play will cut you open, which showed you with the ball behind the back for David Silva to pull it back for Kevin De Bruyne's goal. So it was an interesting article wrote by Oliver Holt this morning on it. But I agree. And if anything, I'm sure it'll make Brighton fans more happier that if they play like that during the whole season, they're going to win potentially, you know, at least more than they did under Horton. So everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Absolutely, of course they are. Good live chat as always. See you soon. Take care, Stephen. Brighton passes well, hence City's less possession. Yeah, result of the weekend has to be Sheffield United. Great comeback. Didn't buy an injured player 3 years ago. Can't remember who it was, but I'm sure they've done it before. Hey, listen, either if they want to buy Sane for 100 million quid whilst he's still injured, good luck to them. That's all I'm saying, because when somebody comes back from an ACL, there's always the potential, not for the fact that they'll never play a game, but the fact of, we seen with Kevin De Bruyne, came back from his, and then he had 2 more injuries. All right, they weren't mega serious injuries, but they still put him out for, it was 8 games, 12 games, something like that. So that's why we're all sort of like that at the moment, that Kevin De Bruyne looks like he's getting back to where he was. So if they want to buy an injured player for 100 million quid, and he's happy to go, because let's face it, he's not signed a contract, fine, let him go. Let him go without a shadow of a doubt. But none of this, we'll buy him now, and if he's not fit, contract is null and void. No chance, absolutely no chance. Yes, they felt like City were going through the motions, to be fair, not even 30%. I agree. Thought they were. Certainly not in third gear. Champions winning 4-0, in my opinion, said they did everything necessary. What a brilliant team. 10 out of 10, a lot of them. Agree with you, Kiam. City are still not 100% yet. No, I don't think we're anywhere near where we were last season. And this is the start of the season. They take 10 games before they start really getting into things. So we're a long way off where we will be, and we will be there, no doubt about it. Have a great evening, Martin. Take care, buddy. And he's sprinter as well, and they said it before, game changer and ACL for a sprinter. Yes, that's the point as well. Pace is, if you're a player who relies on extreme pace like Sane does, and we know that some come back stronger after ACLs, because the ACL operation makes the ACL stronger, but do you ever come back the same player? And this is what we're seeing. You look at how long it's taken Kevin De Bruyne to get to a level where he was before those injuries. He's still not at that level yet. Not to say that he won't get there, but he's still not up to that speed yet. So you're looking at a season, another season after Sane comes back, before he might be at that level and anywhere near the pace of what he was. So anyway, guys, listen, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for all your player ratings, and thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, if you've not seen the documentary, please go over and watch the documentary, the 125th anniversary documentary that was put out last Thursday night. It's an hour and 10 minutes long, so if you haven't seen it, sit down, have a watch of it, and go back yesterday and watch all the pre-match and post-match videos that we did. Anyway, so guys, thank you for tuning in. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful Sunday. We'll be back tomorrow. And yeah, Sandy from Man City Fan TV. Don't forget, subscribe, hit that bell icon, keep commenting below the video, and have a great one. See you around, Blues, guys. Take care.